Hi. Good evening. My name is Ricardo Martinez, and I'm honored to be the new Executive Director of GLBTQ Legal Advocates and Defenders. Y'all know better than most that GLAD Law has dedicated nearly the last 50 years to protecting and expanding the civil rights and fundamental freedoms of LGBTQ people and those living with HIV. I stand before you tonight knowing in my bones that this work is more essential now than ever. I have seen firsthand the work with Equality Texas that increased attacks across the country and recognized that the future seems a bit uncertain right now. Despite this, I stand before you full of hope. Hope for what our future can be if we work in partnership to bring life our vision for a just and equitable future for LGBTQ individuals where our community can thrive. And our community is full of vibrant, brilliant people. Tonight, we are joined by nearly 500 people who have played an instrumental role in fueling the resistance. Thank you to GLAD Law's incredible staff, board, donors, and community partners. In the time that I've been here, I've had the opportunity to chat with movement legends like Ben Klein, as well as Mary Bonato, and one of our esteemed honorees tonight, Jennifer Levi. I've also had the opportunity to have a wonderful lunch with GLAD Law's founder, John Ward, who offered his genuine and loving support. Where are you, John? There you are. And after learning that I was single, he also noted that if he got married at 71, there's still some hope for me. I'll add this thing. I saw John yesterday randomly at an event, and he said, I'm going to give you more. And he said, I'll give you a prayer. St. Anne, bring me a man. I won't be repeating that, but it'll tell you a little bit about the relationship that I have with John Ward. And hope is a through line to how I approach my life and my work. As someone who spent the last 5 years in Texas on the front lines in a state that has been ground zero for the attacks in our community, feeling the weight of anti-LGBTQ extremism, it wasn't always easy to sustain that hope. But even on the toughest days in Texas, like when Attorney General Ken Paxton and Governor Greg Abbott directed the Department of Family and Protective Services to investigate loving parents of trans young people as child abusers, I held on to hope. When a U.S. district judge ruled religious employers need not cover PrEP in their health plans, I held on to hope. These attacks, which are now playing out not just in Texas, but in places across the country where you wouldn't expect, including right next door here in New Hampshire, they're meant to fray the strings that are supposed to fortify our democracy. Anti-LGBTQ extremists are weaponizing state agencies, scapegoating vulnerable communities, using twisted interpretations of law to set dangerous precedents, and filing cruel and dangerous anti-LGBTQ bills, all to erode the rights that we have worked so hard to secure. But our opposition underestimates the talent of our staff and the power of our community. GLAD Law will continue to courageously show up so that young people like Parker and Iris can play sports with their friends, and so LGBTQ kids everywhere feel a sense of belonging. That's right. Despite our opposition's efforts, we continue the resistance because our community understands what's at stake, but more importantly, we know where we come from. We come from bricks at Stonewall, orange juice boycotts, and ACT UP rallies, and from brainstorming the incremental steps it would take to win marriage equality. We come from community coming together in crisis to take care of each other. We come from righteous anger and from the understanding that not only is it okay for us to be who we are and love who we love, but in fact, that authenticity makes us all stronger. Most importantly, we come from hope. We cannot do this work in the absence of hope. And my source of hope, while I was working in Texas, came from watching Glad Law secure victories from afar, setting the precedent we need to reclaim the justice system from those who are willing to weaponize it for political gain. While we rallied with thousands of people to stop dangerous legislation from passing in Texas, Glad Law was working to challenge discriminatory laws, advance legislation to remove barriers and increase access to PrEP, simplifying name and gender marker changes, passing state shield acts to protect access to reproductive and transgender care, and ensuring the legal protection of the relationship between parents and their children was fortified. Glad Law equals hope. Glad Law is working on all fronts through litigation, advocacy, and education to ensure we keep making progress. Our work has become more important than ever in today's climate of increased threats to civil liberties and extremism in the courts. Glad Law cannot and will not cede the judiciary to political bullies who pass laws attacking LGBTQ people. From Lawrence to Obergefell, the courts have served as a system of justice, with Glad Law and allies successfully making the case to protect and expand LGBTQ rights. While the odds may be stacked against us in this moment, we faced uphill battles before, and we know how to win. Glad Law will continue to fight in courtrooms across the country on behalf of LGBTQ people because we will not be denied our rights. I was doom scrolling the other day on social media and luckily found a quote that encapsulates why I think hope is incredibly important. It read, "Unlike cynicism, hopefulness is hard-earned, makes demands upon us, and can often feel like the most indefensible and lonely place on earth. Hopefulness is adversarial. Each redemptive or loving act tells the world and its inhabitants that they have value and are worth defending. It says the world is worth believing in." And I know we believe in Glad Law too.